In this video, I'm going to give you the basic layout for a future selfing exercise. Now, I did a video on this topic a few years ago, but I want to give you another way to do it. So what is future selfing? It's a term that I think I got from Roger Hamilton. So future self, the new you, the best version of yourself, or at least the next version of yourself. So for this exercise, you'll need a large sheet of paper. I buy packs of butcher's paper from my local fish and chip shop. Then I cut the paper in half with a steel rule. I got a set of thick ballpoint pens, blue, black, red, and purple. They flow really nicely and they feel good, which is what you want. You want to feel good when you're doing this. And by the way, this will be much more effective if you actually use pen and paper. If you try and do it on your computer, it may not be so effective because you need to get the thoughts out of mind onto paper using your body. So the future selfing exercise follows the basic outline of the NLP present state to desired outcome model and the NLP well-formative questions. You should also take a look at the Secrets of Success article on my website. Links are below the video. So you draw a line across the top of the paper. You write PS, which is short for present state, and then write the date. Then at the top right of the page, you write DO for desired outcome, and then write a future date, about 3 months in the future, or whatever works for you, okay? Then write steps and stages across the top. And if you have some NLP training, you'll see what I'm doing. So I divide my page into 4 imaginary columns, and starting at the top left, make some notes about your present situation. You could start with the headings life, relationships, career, finances, health, or anything that is relevant to your present situation. So you ask yourself, what is my present situation? Give it a heading, and then answer the question using bullet points. Does that make sense? Because it's hard for me to give you a clear template because it's different each time that you do this exercise. Now, at the top of the second column, write questions, statements, and commands. And you draw a little box around it. Now, this is a reminder for you that we all think by asking questions, statements, and commands, and that you should bring awareness to your thoughts. Ask yourself the right questions, be aware of your statements and the commands that you give yourself. If you've not done so, then it would be useful to also set up idiomotor signals with your unconscious mind. Now, the link's below the video. The relevance of the idiomotor signals is that when you're having a conversation with yourself, you're having it with your unconscious mind, and you can actually get an idiomotor signal, which can be really quite useful. All right. You can make transformative change using question statements and commands and idiomotor signals. Okay, now let's give ourselves a reminder about what we need to do to get into flow. And across the top, we write intention, attention, task, focus, concentrate. Underneath the present state information, I like to put a gratitude box. So mine looks like this. And I usually read it in the morning. So you set frames of mind for the day, get yourself centered, and then give gratitude and thanks to God, just for being alive. And then I say something to the effect, I want this day to be the best day of my life. So I'm going to treat everything as an opportunity to access and mobilize my inner and outer resources such that before I go to sleep tonight, I say to myself, this has been the best day of my life ever. And then I say, did I have a good day yesterday? So this should get you reviewing yesterday, looking for all the positives and how your intention and action in the morning set you up for better or worse for the rest of the day. So you're supposed to learn from that. So now we go over to the desired outcome. You draw a box and then think about what your ideal future self and world would look like, sound like, and feel like at your future date. Say 3 months in the future. So when you conceptualize your future self, try and put aside the present situation, right? Put aside the present situation. Imagine that you're in the future, experience the new version of yourself. So rather than saying, I will be fit, strong, and healthy, all right? Because will presupposes it's in the future. I will be fit, strong, and healthy. You say, I am fit, strong, and healthy. So it presupposes you're actually experiencing it right now. So you're sort of taking yourself out across your timeline into the future, and you're conceptualizing it in the present state. And then from that future date, you can then look back on the past to now. So what you're doing here is you're moving out over your timeline to the future, building your new future, then moving beyond the new future by a couple of months, say, and then you look back to having achieved your outcomes, and then you look back towards now, seeing what it was that you did that allowed you to achieve your desired outcomes. So this is Ted James' proactive goal setting procedure. You can also mark out your timeline on the floor and walk the timeline, so to speak. I think John Grinder was quite big on walking the timeline. It's quite useful, especially for people a bit more sort of kinesthetic. And it does get you actually into the actual, into the kinesthetics, into actually doing something, gets you out of your head. Okay, so now that you have your present state and your desired outcome, you can ask yourself questions like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do to get from my present state to my desired outcome? Who do I speak to? Where can I get help? How do I stop the bad behavior, for example? How do I increase my income? So whatever questions are relevant for you. And in some cases, you would actually write down your questions on the paper. So you write down the question on the paper, and then you answer it in bullet point form on the paper underneath. So this is a self-coaching exercise in which you write your thoughts down on the paper, and as you work through the self-coaching, you will find action thoughts arise. You go, aha. So you write them down in the to-do list at the bottom right of the page. For example, buy butcher's paper, set up idiomotor signals, clean out the garage. And one very important question could be, because so much about coaching comes down to the questions, the types of questions, the usefulness of the questions. So one of the questions could be, who do I need to be, all right? So you write down, who do I need to be? Who do you need to be? So in order for you to make the necessary changes and take the action steps to achieve your desired outcome, who do you need to be, all right? So what's that hat or hats that you need to wear? What are the thoughts you need to hold in mind? What are the beliefs you need to have? What are the decisions you need to make? What are the feelings you have to have? What are the action steps? Which takes us to the mind-to-muscle procedure, right? So the mind-to-muscle procedure was developed by Michael Hall, and there's an article on my website which goes into some detail and shows you how to use it. And I've been thinking about doing a video on it. It's a bit of a challenge, but I'll think about it. Maybe I'll do it. So to finish this video, I just need to say that the Future Selfing exercises really help you to focus in for a short period of time. Well, for me anyway, personally, help me to focus in for a short period of time and help you to restructure your life and then to commit to taking action on some tasks. even if you only take action on one task, you've actually made a step. It could be a transformative step. So I usually refer back to the future selfing exercises for a couple of weeks, and then I forget about it. And then a couple of weeks later, I review it, and I do another one. And they're a pretty good way to self-coach yourself to success. So feel free to leave your comments below the video. Join us over at the Facebook group. And all the best to you, and I look forward to seeing you again.